peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster. You rollin' with peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster.
Roses are red, yeah, violets are blue, boy. You know I'm in love with you. We gon' ride this thing till the wheels fall off. We gon' ride this thing just like them cars. You bring the sunshine, you make my light shine. You said you love me and that you're all mine. Who would ever believe that God loved me so to give me a king that makes my life so
You rollin' with peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster. You rollin' with peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster.
Yeah, peaches, come on, let's ride till the wheels fall off. Come on, let's ride. Peaches, let's ride. Peaches and the pastor. Come on, come on. Let's take this ride. Come on, come on. Greetings and welcome to another segment of
Peaches
and the Pastor, and we are hanging out here in the, where are we today?
We're in G.O.D. Media Music Studio.
All right, cool, and I don't know.
G.O.D. stands for God's Opening Doors.
Yeah, I'm a little, I didn't know we're going to be, well, the last set, we meant to mention that during our last segment that we were in a new studio. And hopefully we'll be back in our other set. I'm digging this. It's cool, but I like that other set.
Don't you hear yourself better in this one in the studio?
I don't know.
Sounds like.
I mean, you have me used to the red carpet and all that stuff. So, but we're good. We're good. It's all good. What they say, it's all good in the hood.
It's all good in the hood.
All right. So today, and Peaches, you did a wonderful job, running the segment last week, and went through some questions and how well do you know your spouse, and that's always a fun game to play. And but we're going to deal with communications. In fact, what we're going to do, we're going to start talking about some of the key issues that we talked about before that were good heavy hitters, and and dealing with communications, dealing with sex, dealing with getting along with your spouse better, money, all kinds of things that hit at the heart of relationships. And so we're not going to back off those subjects this year as we go forward. And I think because, there's just a lot of issues out there, and we want to try to encourage a few of you out there to on some of these areas, okay? Things that has helped us in respect to that.
So, of course, the better you can talk about it, the better you will get along. You may not agree. That's the one thing. You don't have to agree with each other, but you do need to be able to communicate with one another.
And you're absolutely right. Agreeing with one another, and there's a spirit of agreement. We might differ on a few points, but let's stay in agreement in the spirit, in the spiritual side. But let's make sure that we are understanding that we are different people, and so there are times when we have to. The only thing we have, guys, is our communications and it being effective. That carries the message from you to the next person. Okay, unless you're doing there's other forms of communications, like writing things and writing things out, or we got all these phones and cell phones and all these kind of stuff. That's another thing that we use to communicate. Communication is the key, and we're going to be addressing that today. In fact, we're going to again talk about a lot of those issues that marriages are addressing. Okay, from communication again to to money issues, sex issues, and all of these kinds of things that can pull a relationship into the gutter if it's not handled properly. All right, so we're going to get into it. All right?
Let's go.
Okay. Listen, so we have all these different types of ways to communicate today. You have and technology really has really broadened itself and has given us the ability to stay in touch with people almost instantly.
But why hasn't it helped us? That's what I don't understand. There's so many other ways to communicate now.
Yeah. So I think that the technology was never meant to replace things necessarily. It's to add to your communications. I think that, like we do in the morning, what we'll do is discuss what we're going to do.
Gotcha.
And I try to lay out the whole schedule, where I'm going to be, where I'm headed, so you have a pretty good diagram or a format of where I'm going to be all day long, period. Okay. And you do the same thing. Okay, you give me a profile of where you're going to be all day long. And so what we also try to do with that is don't allow technology to rule the day. Okay, we have to have the thing that rules the day is making sure that we honor the word that we put on. Like, for instance, I don't think that I can't go all day without speaking to you. And so we have to make those pacts, and marriages make those pacts. So, hey, every so many hours or so many during lunchtime or during certain parts of the day, reach out to your spouse, check in with each other. Now, those are just basic fundamental things that you need to do to prune your communications, because sometimes communications is filled with all kinds of static, a lot of things that just it doesn't just need pruning. Some things that just have to be pruned, taken out of the category of communication, of effective communicating. And so, and with that being said, some of the old school ways of communicating have to be dealt with.
Well, that's good stuff, and that is something that I hope that we can share with you, viewers and listeners, that we do that can help you. Those I call them morning meetings, because every morning we do have a meeting. It may not be a long one. It may just be 15 minutes or 10 minutes, but we're going over the plan for the day. And I always like to say the goal. What is the goal for today? What do we have to complete? What are we trying to accomplish today? Is there anything I should know that you forgot to tell me? That's always important. And then, like you said, where will we be? I like to say, in this crazy world, you need to know I'm going on the east side, or I'm going on the west side, wherever I'm going. So you know that I'm not going to be where I normally am. So if you don't hear from me, you come looking for me, or you call me, or whatever. I mean,
it's just so many things going on in today's world. And technology with the cell phones, and all of these different apparatuses that are out there now, should make communication better. Okay, it should. Okay, but there's a spirit on that thing as well. Because if you have the wrong spirit, even with all this technology, then you're still not going to be effective. And in fact, it's going to aggravate you. Okay, when you cannot get in contact with your spouse or your husband or whatever, and that becomes then the blame. You got your phone on you, come your phone, don't keep your phone on you, And guys, you've been hearing that, it's real. It happens. It happens to all of us. It even happens to us, okay? And we have to, make sure that we don't allow the technology of these different apparatuses to be the point of misery. Just keep some of those traditional ways of communicating in tune and intact, and intact, and making sure that you put the right spirit on it.
Well, you said it best. Don't let that be the only point. Though, of course, communicating in the morning face to face is important because you know what's going on during the day. But sometimes I don't know. There was a period of time where your phone didn't even ring. It would just go straight to voicemail, and you'd be calling 40, 50 times. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't ring. Or my phone, I will try to call out and can't even call out. It just quit. It
just some
won't
crazy
work.
stuff.
It's not happening. It's just not. And then you're mad at me or I'm mad at you. It's not even our fault. So so you're right. Don't make that the key. Thing that you're relying on technology, because technology sometimes does not work.
Right, and that's where that the basic communicating skills is so important, that you talk during the morning, get that out the way. But I'm going to tell you guys, with this technology, what makes it cool, though, is that we're able to, I'm a safety nut, and if I can't reach my wife, then I'm thinking of all kind of things. Okay, I just need to make sure that, if I can't reach her, I need to know where she is. Okay, I need to know, because things will come to my mind that, is she safe? I know, and I'd share that with you, and maybe sometimes guys, we get maybe a little bit overboard with that, but it's just our way of saying, hey, listen, I need to know where you are, because we know. And I got a hottie wife. My wife is a hottie wife. She drives a pretty cool car, and people out there doing some crazy things. So if I can't get in touch with my wife over several hours, then I'm going to have a little issue with that, you see.
Isn't that so?
And that's just the way it is. And so we can't, as men, we can't be, it's just, it's what we do. We're here in your life to protect you and to keep you safe, and that's one way that this technology has been somewhat effective for us. That, in fact, even on these cell phones, I can tell where your car is, where you're located, and all those kinds of things. And that's the kind of guy I am, and that's the kind of husband I am to my wife. I just want to make sure that you're safe and protected at all times.
Yeah, I think those TV shows got us a little paranoid too. If you watch any of that, I don't even know what the names of them are, but when I watch them, then I'm always thinking like that, because it is some wacky stuff happening out here, and we do need to be careful. Be careful. So with that being said, listen, we're going to take a break, and we're coming back to talk about more communication on Peaches
and the Pastor. We're back at you with
Peaches
and the Pastor, and God bless you, TrinityStrong Kingdom Broadcast.
and our WOVU family.
All right, keeping it all real up in here, right?
That's right.
Does that sound like I was up in here?
Y'all gonna make me. He working it. Are you doing the show?
Yeah, shout out to the family of DMX. Right?
Yeah. Our deepest condolences to DMX.
Yeah. All right. Back at communications, right? So we know again, and that there's a lot of marriages ending in divorce, and high numbers in the secular realm and high numbers in the church realm.
That's right.
And one of those key areas is communication, the breakdown of communications. And we can spend hours talking about it, and so many different things we can address. But man, I'll tell you, we got to talk to each other. We have to make sure that we are staying in touch. That's why I go back and saying the right spirit, because the having the right spirit on communication is going to tell you, something's going to alert you that I haven't heard from. I need to hear from him. I need to hear from her. Okay, something has got to just put something in that head and that heart of yours, or that spirit driving you to reach out. I need to reach out, and I need you to feel. And sometimes I need you to feel, your spouse needs to feel when you're even in distress, even during the course of the day, and have that sense that, I'm feeling my husband. I need to talk with my husband or my wife because I'm sensing that, this will be a good time to reach out. Maybe my voice is going to help pull you through. That's another layer of communication.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that when I'm having a bad day, that's probably when I don't think to call you because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
Right.
On your day that may be going well. So, it's something that you said that, and I will definitely keep that in my mind as well, because I know that if I am having a challenging day, I don't want to bring it to you. Most times I'll just keep, working through it, and then, if I can, I'll tell you about it when I get home, or even sometimes don't say anything till the next day because it's so I don't want to bring that to you.
I mean, I get it. I mean, that's keeping it 100.
Yeah.
And the thing is that that's part of communications. Communication is not just purely designed to tell you what you feel your spouse want to hear. It's speaking truth. It's just simply speaking truth. And sometimes truth is a good feeling. You feel good about it. And sometimes truth, you don't feel so good about it. But it still need to get out because we know that with truth, we're set free through truth. Okay? And that communication, man, is just so critical. So as you're putting, and in fact, I want you to feel, Peaches, anytime that you're having a day, that reach out to me, call me. And sometimes it's not about, guys, when people call you, for you to really say something. Sometimes it's just to listen.
Yeah.
Just listen, because sometimes, and we're fixers. We're fixers by nature. Men are fixers, and I'll try to fix anything.
And that's the
I'll
other
try
thing.
to fix
Sometimes I don't want you to fix it. I just want to vent, and then you go to fix it, and it's like,
I try fixing it.
Yeah, and then it's like,
then you get, and then you get aggravated. I get aggravated because you're not hearing what I'm saying. You need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah, and that thing there, man, that drives you nuts.
Yeah.
He ain't hearing me. She ain't hearing me.
Yeah,
then you don't want to bring anything else to that person because
I know
what's
with me, like when I have a bad day or I have something is weighing on me, I can't talk. So what I say, what I would tell you, like when I come home, just give me a hug. Don't
right.
I can't even verbalize right now.
All right, that's good.
All the stuff, and that's a form of communication.
Amen. That's good. That's really good. I'm glad you brought that out because we're talking about deliverables from your mouth, but then we got deliverables from your hugs and other ways to share share a form of communication in the form of physical touch. Mm-hmm. So again, that spirit, putting the right spirit on communications and having communication as a we're not talking about ESP stuff, guys. We're just talking about, because we're tied by the soul. Relationships that are soul tied have a sense of knowing when your spouse is in distress or your spouse is in some state of going through something. We're always prepared to call your spouse when you've approached some happy moment in your life. Right. That's an automatic. Okay, but we need those other moments to chime in. Need those other moments when there are some issues, and because I'm gonna tell you guys, those issues can then fester into some big problems. All right, because you get home or whatever later on in the day, you start talking about some things, and your husband might say, or your spouse might say, "Well, how come you didn't share this with me earlier? How come you didn't say this to me last week? I could have done X, Y, Z. I could have done this." There's always something going on. That's why have that spirit of that right spirit on communication, and be prepared to talk and let it out, and particularly when it happens, because we're bound together. Marriages, you are bound together. And if you start creating spaces between you and your spouse via communication, spaces that should be filled with communication is going to be filled with other things.
That's
Okay.
some good stuff. That's really good stuff. And then for those like me that can't talk when you're upset, then the acts like a hug. So just
Right.
make it, a part of your day when your spouse or significant other gets home to give them a hug. That sense of protection and release is comes over you when you give a hug. Then maybe I can talk because I feel like, oh gosh, I
That's right,
let
baby.
some of it out.
That's right, baby.
And now I can talk
you
about
can talk.
it.
Tell me, where did you keep that money? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you hiding? No, yeah, but there's no buts. I'm saying you did. That's awesome. There's this other part I was explaining. The spaces that you leave that should be filled with effective communication. If those spaces is not filled, it's going to be filled with something, and usually it's suspicion.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I can see that.
suspicion.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that word suspicion, guys, it's a killer. All right. It's now taking things and creating a perception
Yeah.
or building a case around something that doesn't exist.
It may not even be true.
And you can move into that area of suspicion and perception and create a whole new relationship with your own self and your own mind.
Wow.
Okay? That's why the communication is, we need to, again, back to the right spirit, make sure that it is put, the spaces that it's supposed to occupy it with true, effective communication. Okay? And stay with the traditional ways. Technology should add to that. In other ways, it should enhance our ability, but it has to have the right spirit, always.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. You said suspicion, and that's a big reason for people breaking up, because you have it's a miscommunication. It's you're not communicating, and what you're thinking is a miscommunication, not even real. It's something that you perceived from wherever you got it from.
you hit a word, miscommunication. What popped in my thoughts there was missed opportunity. Okay, miscommunication and missed opportunity, right? So, and we can take that in so many different ways. If I missed saying something to you, I've also missed an opportunity maybe to get what I need, to pull me
That's
through.
right.
So guys that you're watching or listening, when you have miscommunication, you also have missed opportunity. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, this is some really good information. And they say communication is one of the biggest factors of, whether your marriage will make it or not. So let's go ahead and really, really, really be intentional. There's that word again, about being great, not just okay communicators, not just good communicators, but let's strive to be great communicators so that our marriages can bear the fruit that we know that it's meant to be, that it was purposed to
Right,
do.
yeah, you use the word intentional again, and that's, I'm going to tell you, everything is about putting forth the right effort. And so, and sometimes it's not easy, a lot of times, to open up, but guys, and say some things. But you don't want to take the chance of not saying something and your spouse start to build suspicion and miss opportunities. Suspicion, guys, I think would be another a segment all in itself. Maybe we'll address that, because suspicion is obviously a growing, it becomes a growing issue in relationships, and it can get so out of sorts, and it can certainly take you under as well. But it can counter suspicion and relieve a person's heart and mindset about something through effective communication. So in the morning, let's do a little summary in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever time the both of you, you and your spouse meet, go through your day. Go through everything, even the time you plan to go to the gas station or whatever. You know, just be as detailed as possible, okay? And plan to engage with your spouse throughout the day in some form or fashion. It's important. There's no reason for you and your spouse to not communicate over a stretch of 5 to 6 hours. That's not cool. Stuff. So you make a plan to shoot a text or make a call, or allow your the good spirit that you have in your line of communication, let that conduct its business and letting you know when you should reach out.
This has been great. Communication is the key, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those keys, and we'll address some other keys. And again, we're going to just hit some of those hard topics that we talked about before. I think it'll be most relevant, as we move forward.
This is some good stuff. Well, our time is almost up. Well, it is up.
It's up.
It's
up. My goodness. TrinityStrong Kingdom Broadcast.
And WOBU family, we love you and we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in to Peaches.
And the pastor, and we'll check you guys out next week. All right, be cool.
God bless.